Hey, what's up, you guys? It's here back with another video, and today we're going to take a look at the Lego set number 76331 Batman v Superman Batmobile. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you guys, if you feel so inclined, please like and subscribe. It really does help my channel and is absolutely free. Take a look at the package over here, and we can see it's a new Lego Batman design, akin to the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. It is the Batmobile collection, so they're on a bit of a lazy Susan over here with the Batcave in the background. You got Lego, the Batman logo, you got the age rating, the set number, Batman v Superman Batmobile with 220 pieces, along with the minifigure Batman there, and Ben Affleck's Batman with the DC logo. At the side, you got Ben Affleck's Batman again, Lego, Batman logo, DC logo. At the other side, you got a bunch of features in other languages, which is pretty neat. At the top, you got the Batman and Lego logo, along with some more features in other languages. Graphic of Batman there, along with a wheel size for comparison. And the back over here, you can see the back of the Batmobile, along with the minifigure. Once again, Lego Batman Legendary Batmobile Collection. You got the dimensions of the vehicle over here as well too, which is pretty cool. And then you got a little feature over here. So this does include a code to do a gold variant of the Batman v Superman Batmobile in the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight video game. So yeah, that's pretty neat. And the bottom over here, you got the Batman and Lego logo once again, along with the Batman v Superman logo, a bunch of legalese, warnings, etc., and the UPC code right there. Taking a look at this Batman v Superman Batmobile over here. Yeah, Lego. I'm not a huge collector of Lego. I haven't really featured it much on this channel, although I have done a video in the past kind of comparing all the different live action versions of the Batmobile. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, when it comes to, Batman, I love all the different iterations of the Batmobiles and how Lego has kind of gone ahead and done a lot of those different iterations of the Batmobile, and it's really cool to have somewhat of a display of all of them all together over here. And with this Batman v Superman Batmobile, that's no different. With that said, though, I have already a Batman v Superman Batmobile that was from the original, Lego set in 2016. So I'll be comparing that with this one over here today. I just thought that this one was a pretty good step up from it. But we'll get more into that. What inspired me to take a look at these as well was the new Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight video game. I have been playing that, and I have been really enjoying it. And yeah, it was great to see these sets also featured in the game as well too. Starting with a look at the figure over here, this is a pretty unique looking Lego Batman. When it comes to the Lego figures, there isn't really much that's different in terms of the, typical Lego design. But, they did take some liberties over here, with the cowl, the iconic Batman cowl over here in a nice gunmetal gray. And he's got the shoulder pads there as well, too. And then the printing, that's what Lego's known for, is the printing. And this printing over here looks really cool, kind of foil-esque with the armor. You can see all the little intricate details inside there of his battle damage. So this is really cool. I really like this a lot. And you can see at the back over here that he does have a bit of printing on the back as well too. If you want to take a closer look at that, actually, as the shoulder pads do kind of block it. It's a really neat design. And then obviously the cape over here, it's a bit more flat, which is accurate to the movie. And then he has a bit of a Ben Affleck specific head sculpt over here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think that looks like a cool cartoon Ben Affleck, kind of a smiling face and a grouchy face. And then obviously, you can put on his helmet over here too, which looks great. And yeah, I think this is a really cool interpretation of Armored Batman from the Batman v Superman movie. Really nice. As for the car itself over here, I think this is a really neat kind of take on the Batmobile here. I do think that the overall look of it does sort of emulate that same appearance from BVS, although it is gray. And I don't really remember the car being gray inside of the movie. But yeah, I do like the take on it being gray, as in some pictures it does appear more gray than usual. But yeah, the overall design of this looks really great. I love how, you got the little flaps here where the missiles typically would be. The machine gun at the front, you got the kind of like panels with the lights there as well too. Just really cool design over here, and even with the flaps in the back over here. And then the wheels too look great. I like the use of the little gun weapon over here featured there. And yeah, it's a really neat design for a Batmobile. And in terms of action, kind of, stuff with this car, this does pull up over here, and you can see inside that there is a bit of a coin to celebrate 20 years of Lego Batman. So it's 2006 to 2026. You got all the different, command station stuff in there, and then the little steering wheel at the front as well too. So that's pretty great. And then if you wanted to put in Batman to, drive the car, he does fit in there pretty well. Kind of slide back a little bit, but you can close it, and yeah, he pretty much sits in there really nicely. Yeah, I like it a lot. Now, this Lego set costing around $30 US or $40 Canadian, which is what I got it for. There has been some discussion as to, these sets should include a little bit more than, what they have. And I think for sure this set should have included a Superman as in the title, Batman v Superman. And that would have been really great to have included here, as he is in that armored look as well, too, ready to fight off Superman. So it's too bad, but, I have this from the original sets, so at least I have that for this here. But yeah, Lego, this should have had an extra figure in it, in my opinion. But anyway, I digress. As for a comparison over here, I do have it next to the original Batmobile back from 2016. And you can see over here that they are very, very similar in length. Yeah, it is a pretty interesting occurrence over here, just to put that in front there. If anything, like, it might be even smaller. And I remember, if you watch my original video comparing all the live action Batmobiles, I said that this was kind of small in comparison to other Batmobiles. So that's quite interesting that they're around the same size over here. Although I do think that the overall design is better on this one over here. I just think that the structure is more, combat ready looking. More compact as opposed to this one here. But what I did like about this original design back in the day were these flaps that open. That was a very specific, design to this BVS Batmobile. And it's too bad that they didn't keep it for this car over here, and it more so just opens like that. I thought that was kind of lazy, but at least the overall look, is pretty nice here. And I do think that it is a well worth upgrade to this, especially that this one came out so long ago, but it's been 10 years by now. But if you do want to compare it to some other Batmobiles, I do have it next to this Batman and Robin Batmobile that I just reviewed. So you can see the comparison there that, I think this is pretty accurate. They are kind of the same length, same overall length, and I think that they do fit at least in a realistic scale. But yeah, I think this is pretty nice. If you want to compare this to some vehicles that you have at home, we can see over here that this does stand across, all the way across to the tip there. It's about 7 inches. And then in terms of the height, it goes up to just over 2 inches. And then if you wanted to see the width over here, it's just over 3 inches right there. All right, so final thoughts on this Lego Batman v Superman Batmobile set. I do think this is a very much needed upgrade from the original, as the last Batman v Superman Batmobile we got was in 2016, which is now a decade ago. So I am really happy that they came back to visit this Lego set, and I'm really happy with actually getting an upgraded look for the armored Batman minifig as well too. So all that is positive stuff, and I think that it's super great to see them revisiting Batman v Superman of all things, as I know that was kind of, a bit of a controversial time for DC, but it's a great looking design for a Batmobile. And despite, the gray not really being accurate, I do like it as it stands with other Batmobiles. It makes it more unique and more eye-catching in the mix of them. So I don't entirely mind it, but I can understand if, there are some people out there that do not like that design choice. For the price point of $30 USD and $40 Canadian, as I said already, I do think that they should have included at least an extra minifigure in this set. But as it is, I really enjoyed this build, and I really liked the look of this design for the Batmobile. So if I were to give this set a rating, I would probably stick with a 7 out of 10. That being said, you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you guys playing Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight? How are you enjoying the game? Let me know what you think. And as every YouTuber begs you to do, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.